This short film, it has an original perspective and presents an interesting view to the Artemis goddess and the mythology behind it. With creative posing and unpretentious scenography, they use light, music, movement, and interaction to show the ambivalence and phases of self discovery and probably acceptance. I especially like the one with they are the washroom um, floor, and those movements were particularly interesting and very well synchronized. I really enjoyed
I
it.
thought this was a really interesting piece. At first glance, it kind of just looks like a skincare commercial questioning its sexuality while tripping out, but it is just so well put together. Even the interpretive dance there, which I don't claim to be any sort of expert on, I thought was really engaging. Just the way it was all shot, it kind of felt like claustrophobic, but somehow spacious too. I guess that had to do with the lighting and choices that they made and the camera angles and field of view and all that. I just think there was a lot of careful thought put into every shot here, and it really shows out in the end product. It's definitely an interesting one, worth checking out.
Putting it bluntly, modern Artemis was extremely trippy. Um, a lot of things happened. Uh, it was very psychedelic. A lot of flashing images. Very serene. Uh, I could be wrong, but the sensation I got from it was also a message on vanity and sexuality. Maybe it's because of just a lot of the imagery with the Barbie and Ken dolls, uh, and kind of gender swapped pieces. But that's kind of the sensation I got from watching this, and uh, the music was definitely very serene. It felt otherworldly, and it was a very interesting
The
experience.
pains and knots and tensions of a real body carrying our own weight and our own stresses compared to the idealized body of an object, such as a Barbie or these balloons, was really interesting juxtaposition throughout. Especially, I loved that camera angle viewing from where the vanity mirror would be. So it's the mirror looking down on the person. You get the mirror's vantage point, watching the bodies contort themselves and writhe around on the cold floors in front of its gaze. It was really interesting. And I thought that the texture usage was also very interesting throughout the piece. The cold tiled floors for something man made, the squishy balloons that are plastic, also a man made product compared to the textures of our own bodies. So it really picked up that idea of sensuality and of texture and touch, and made for some really interesting connections and revelations throughout. So quite thought provoking in how they pieced it together.
Something I find really interesting about some of these experimental films is that the interpretations that you get from them are not very similar across the board. A lot of us will see these films and draw something completely different from it. I very much got the vibe of celebrating the flexibility and elasticity of the human form compared to something like a Barbie doll. And maybe taking that to its extreme. But I just loved how these performers were able to move their bodies in such a small space. It looks like this entire thing was shot in a bathroom, which is really inspiring. Some of the sound choices were really cool. The props that they managed to get, I will never think of balloons the same way again. Really, really fun. Yeah, it looked like they had a blast filming it, and they're both very talented dancers and movers, and they were shot beautifully. It was really, really cool for such a small project.
This was the lighting design and like the color story. I had never seen lighting like this. You know what I'm saying? It was super bright. And I was interested to figure out how y'all did that. And I think it was an interesting choice that added to the story and added to the emotion. I also really want to shout out the editing. It was really impressive also. So
there was just something so aesthetically pleasing about the modern Artemis. I thought it was a super intriguing film. I loved the editing and the effects, especially when the images kind of got distorted. I thought that was a super nice touch. And I really appreciated kind of that harsh lighting because I think it fit the mood of it super well. And just the juxtaposition of the two dancers with, you know, the Barbie dolls. I thought that was a super interesting touch of the film. And, you know, the performances were just amazing and kept me engaged throughout. So overall, it was a super interesting experimental film, and I really appreciated being able to watch it. So good job.
That was fantastic. I really liked all of it, but the choice of locations, the choice of how to film the locations, I thought was really well done. The whole the lighting, the set decoration, like all the whites and the beautiful stark lighting, the use of superposition with the video was the layering was really quite effective. I thought the choreography was very smart, very well done. I liked the way that the choreography and the performers really explored the space and made use of the visual framing and the space that they were occupying in the frame. There's some images that were just striking, like at the end there, with the flower snakes in the bath, just stunning. So the soundtrack was very good, and I thought that the interpretation of the soundtrack, like everything, mended together really well. Be it the choreography, the physical interpretation of the what was going on in the soundtrack, or the video, the way that the video editing was reflecting the energy of what was going on sound-wise. Also, the filming techniques, the angles, the motion of the cameras. Just I thought that it all came together as a really solid whole. To just everything was speaking the same language in this video. So quite successful.